Hi everyone. Welcome to the first of our Tech Tuesday how-to guides. These are shorter videos uploaded every 2 weeks, going over useful tooling and common workflows. My name is Nick, and today I'll be doing a quick guide on how I use a tool called Quokka to speed up my JavaScript and TypeScript development. I'll be giving you a brief overview of what the tool is and what it does, and then illustrate how it can be used for learning or teaching. Following that, I'll be showing you some other cool features of the tool. It's worth noting that some of the features I'll be showing are not available in the free edition, but I'll be pointing these out as I get to them. Quokka is self-described by the developers of the tool as a developer productivity tool for rapid JavaScript and TypeScript prototyping. Runtime values are updated and displayed in your IDE next to your code as you type. To me, this is a way of testing JavaScript without opening it up in a browser console or running it as a file through Node. Quokka is available as an extension for VS Code, which I'll be showing you today, as well as JetBrains IDEs, Atom and Sublime. I'll be sticking with VS Code as it's my editor of choice. To install, I'll be going to the Extensions Explorer on the side and searching for Quokka. I already have it installed on my machine, but if it was not, there'd be an install button here, just like with any other extension. Once this is installed, extra commands will be available in the IDE, such as Quokka new JavaScript file, manage license key, etc. These are available from the command palette. That's Shift Command P on Mac OS and Shift Control P on Windows. To start off, I'm going to use the Quokka new JavaScript file command to start a new JavaScript file. And in here, I'm going to start off by defining an arbitrary add function, which takes in two numbers. And just returns the result of adding them together. Massive functionality. Then I'm going to assign a variable to the result of using this function. Need to actually invoke it. At this stage, nothing's actually happened. So now I'm going to log out the result. You'll see now I get output here at the bottom from Quokka, as well as on the side here. Additionally, Quokka installs an explorer on the side where you can explore all logged values. Other ways of logging to this is just by outputting the name of the variable itself, or using live comments, which is just a comment notation with a question mark. Quokka isn't limited to displaying just primitive values such as strings or numbers. You can also log out objects as well. To illustrate this, I'm just going to define an arbitrary article object, which has a title. I'm just going to insert some lorem ipsum here, and then say that I wrote this article, which technically I did, and it was published at let's say somewhere in May last year. And then log out the article just like I have before. Same trick works here with the live comments. Now in the Value Explorer, I can open up any of these log statements and see the actual values that were logged out within the object. This works with numbers as well, so if I were to update this with an ID of 3, then that would then appear here as well as a number as opposed to a string with the other fields. One of the more valuable real-world uses I've found for Quokka is as a tool to teach people JS language basics. When starting out, I've found that it's much easier for people to grasp what the map function on an array does when presented with a tangible example. I'm going to set up a numbers array here with a few random numbers inside it. No specific rhyme or reason to these at all. Let's add in a 7 there. So now we have an array of numbers, and to illustrate how map works, as an example, I'm going to double all of these numbers. So I'm going to declare a new constant here. And then provide a function to actually double the numbers. So to do that, I will take in an argument of a number and multiply it by 2, returning that. So now, doubled should have double the value for each element in the numbers array. Additionally, I could explain how filter works by filtering for all numbers, excuse me there, over 20. By providing a function that filters out numbers that are less than 20, so I need to actually provide the argument there. Using the live comment, I can see that 1 and 7 have been filtered out in this case. Slightly more advanced, I could illustrate how you could use a reducer function to add all the numbers in the array together by defining a constant called sum, where we reduce with an accumulator and the current value by taking the accumulator and adding the current value. The point of this isn't to explain how the JavaScript works itself, just that it outputs the values here and that you can use it to understand what's going on in the code itself. Another powerful feature of Quokka is to allow you to install NPM dependencies in your local session to allow you to try them out without modifying your project's node modules folder. I'm going to illustrate this now by using node fetch to make a simple API request and evaluate the result. So to do that, I'm going to require, I think it's called node fetch, like that. Yes. Then Quokka will come up with a message prompting you to either install node fetch as a package in the current file or for the project. Using the former, we can keep it to the current editing session, and you'll see that the window has reloaded and the error is gone. You can check what is in fetch by just logging it out, and you can see that it is an object that we can use there. I'm going to paste in this function for getting a user here. So here I'm making use of the JSON placeholder site, which is a free fake API for testing and prototyping. Here you can see by invoking getUser, this actually works, and I should get a result. I need to provide an ID. So here, provided an ID of 1, and I get that result from the API here. Get number 2, and I can see that a different user is returned. So here you can see that Quokka is more than capable of working with asynchronous operations as well, and you can await promises without being in an async context on your own because Quokka is run in an async context. It is worth noting that code executes as you type, so if you are testing against your own API or a service that is rate limited, you're most likely going to be hitting that service a lot harder than you thought you might be. That brings me to the next notable feature I'd like to highlight in Quokka. Using Quokka's live comments, you're able to get an approximate duration of how long a function takes to execute by just adding a period after the question mark here. So we can see that this getUser function, in this case, took 61 milliseconds to run. If I were to make a change in the file, I can see that that updates. This updates every single time I make a change in the file. But that's going to do it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that Quokka can help you as much as it's helped me over the last 2 years. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all next Tuesday. Goodbye.